Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing? Sorry for the delay. We have a guest today. There was a lot to do. I know everyone knows I have two kids, so everything's a little bit delayed. So I'm so happy to see everybody here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. Oh, I've noticed my screen's like a little bit smaller on YouTube, but we'll fix that. We'll fix that. How is everyone doing? Welcome to the new show, No More Nostalgia. I'm really excited about this because I was thinking about doing No More Nostalgia while I was pregnant with Truth. And I was like, what do I want to do with this? And it's just slowly become its thing. And now we're here today and I'm so excited about it. Who is in the chat? Hi, Veggie Swifty. Hi, Gary. Hi, Nat. Hi. Hi, Jay. Oh my God, everyone's here. I think Becca's here as well. I see Nat. I see Sia. Gifted 10 alexanikolas memberships. David, that's so sweet. Hi, David. Oh, there's two Davids. There's David Kaplan and there's David Roberts. Hello, Alexa. There was a story in the New York Post about hundreds of unrecovered. Ooh, terrible story. You should protest NYPD. David, please email me at epredators@gmail.com because I would love to look more into that. Thank you so much for being here. This is so exciting. It's the holiday seasons. This year, honestly, you guys, feels like it flew by. I can't believe it's already December. We're going into the new year. This is so exciting. Hi, Marissa. Hi, Marissa. So I know there's probably a lot of new people here. And so I want to reintroduce myself, obviously, hopefully, maybe who I am. I'm alexanikolas. I started the Eat Predators YouTube channel a year after protesting in the streets every single Thursday with a bunch of other brave survivors, protesting institutions that were allegedly covering up SA, also protesting alleged predators. And, it's slowly morphed into this. And I haven't stopped protesting. I have decided to protest once a month now because obviously I can't do it every single Thursday like I used to. But I created this channel as a way to first and foremost, reach more people, hopefully, and be able to let people know what it is that I'm doing and also, hopefully, educate from a survivor's point of view. A lot of these sadly horrific allegations. And so, this is a little bit more tangible for me creating this YouTube channel than being able to protest every single Thursday like I used to. And, obviously I protested Nickelodeon after Janette McCurdy's book came out. And that's because in 2019, I, came forward about my own personal experience with Nickelodeon and Zoey 101. And I was just, once I heard that Janette was speaking out in the way that she chose to, it just brought me a lot of hope. It brought me a lot of clarity because for once I did not feel like I was the only one, which I felt like for a very, very long time. And so once I saw Janette McCurdy's book, I was like, you know what, enough's enough. And so I protested Nickelodeon. And that's what really, I think brought a lot more awareness to Eat Predators in general. Now I'm creating a new show on the YouTube channel called No More Nostalgia. And the reason for this channel is obviously we know nostalgia has become something that all of us are collectively interested in. And I think we're interested in nostalgia in a lot of different ways. A lot of different ways. Some of us might be wanting to, find some comfort in what we grew up with. Some of us might be looking at it. Oh, blackout. Hello? I'm back. Some of us might be, interested in nostalgia from a more critical point of view. Some of us might be curious about our childhood. Some of us might be wanting to know if there is a critical POV when it comes to what we grew up with. There's so many different reasons why I think people are interested in nostalgia. And for me personally, I not only have my own nostalgia from my childhood, but I know that my childhood was a lot of different people's nostalgia. And, as I have been more and more outspoken, I know that I don't want to say burst the bubble, but I've definitely brought a lot more clarity about what was happening behind the scenes of Nickelodeon and the TV show that I was on, Zoey 101. And I just really feel like it's important for all of us collectively to be able to look back together at our childhoods and talk about what we like about it, talk about what we don't really like about it, and talk about the ways in which that maybe we can make it better. And for all the new people here, ePredator's channel is a safe space for a lot of people, and we want to remain respectful of each person that's here in the chat today. There's a lot of survivors here. There are a lot of allies here. And it's really important for all of us collectively to just make sure that we're being respectful of one another and compassionate of one another. And, that's what I wanted as a child, and I am trying to create it here on this channel, hopefully so that my children can look at me and, I don't know, I'm hoping be proud of me, of what I'm creating here. So thank you so much for being here. It's so wonderful to see you all here. I go through a little bit of an intro in the beginning of each episode, letting you know, the ways in which you can support the channel. So first and foremost, ePredators is a total DIY grassroots movement. And, your support really matters. So even if it's liking this video, or if it's sharing this video, or subscribing, any way that you choose is highly, highly appreciated, because, we're doing this all by ourselves over here, and we really, really appreciate your support. So first and foremost, the only other way of supporting other than liking and subscribing, we have the Patreon. And the Patreon is honestly one of the first ways that we started to create a community for ePredators while we were protesting in the streets, and it helped us create a lot of these signs that are behind me. So if anyone's watching this for the first time and you're like, what the heck is behind her? These are some of the protest signs that my husband and I created for our protests. And yeah, it's a little bit of artivism, and the Patreon was a great way to help support that, because obviously the paper wasn't cheap, the ink's not cheap, the printer wasn't cheap. And so we created the Patreon. And now the Patreon has grown to not only supporting the protests, but also supporting the channel. And so if no one knows, here it is, the ePredators Patreon. We got a bunch of different tiers here. The first tier obviously gives you the access to the Discord. And, the Discord has been such a wonderful way to connect with everyone and also have some late night realizations like we had the other night. I don't know who was there for the Discord community late night realization, but it was wild, and it was amazing to connect with everyone and realize so many different things. So obviously the $5 tier has the Discord. And then moving on, the $11 also has a Discord, but it comes with a live Q&A. And so at the end of the month now, I am doing a live Q&A with you all. And as long as they're respectful questions, I will be answering them. And I'm really, really excited about this. We're starting this this Friday, actually, will be the first live Q&A. And then 10% off of the merchandise that we'll go into, and a predator-free playlist of music. And obviously we never know, right? Like someone could be accused of something at any day now, but what we know as of recent, it is alleged predator-free. And moving on, we have the $22 tier, which has everything from above, but added is one of the more exciting things that I'm just so excited to be creating, which is the ePredator zine. And, you know, I hope everyone here knows that I am a survivor and an advocate for survivors, and I'm trying to create survivor-centric media, survivor-centric narratives around a lot of the mainstream allegations that we see time and time again. And we are creating this beautiful zine that is going to be created by a lot of different journalists that are, some are allies, some are survivors themselves. And it's truly beautiful because for once we're going to be able to hear a lot of these mainstream stories, but from a survivor-centric POV. And I'm really excited about this. So the $22 tier, you're going to get the ePredator zine and a special thanks. And the $33 tier is everything from above, but including the healing circle. And I'm super excited about that because, you know, I've been trying to balance all of this and make sure that, you know, even though we were talking about a lot of heavy topics, I want to make sure that we are balancing it out with some healing, some self-reflection, etc. And so, you know, the $33 tier includes a healing circle where we're going to have different types of healers coming in and helping, guiding us through some more transformative conversations. So really excited about that. And you get a free protest sign. And then obviously the 44 is everything from above. You get the whole archive, the whole schmeal. You know, you guys get it. So this is really nice because this is what helps support, you know, what we're doing here. And I can't tell you enough how grateful I am for every single person that is here. Moving on. Another fun way, which by the way, I love hearing everyone's stories. There's been so many orders and I'm getting so many DMs and I'm getting so many messages about people's stories while, you know, wearing the t-shirt or wearing a tote bag and spreading awareness. So this is the way to spread awareness around, you know, ePredators, survivor-centric media, survivor-centric narratives. We have a lot here, honestly, which we will be removing some in January. The ePredators Academy, that is a little nostalgia bite, to be quite honest with you. It was created being inspired by the PCA t-shirts from Zoey 101. And so we created ePredators Academy. Instead of a wave, it's a shark fin. You get it. That will be gone in January. We have some amazing winter clothes as well. And this is Power to Survivors, which is the anthem of ePredators. And it's all about giving the power back to survivors, empowering them, supporting them. And so if you're an ally or if you're a survivor, we have the hoodies, we have the crew necks, we have the t-shirts, stickers, and all of this goes into making this sustainable because I honestly could not, you know, do any of this without all of you. And I still can't believe that this is happening. You know, I dreamt of this and now I'm here and I honestly still can't believe it's happening. And this community is so beautiful, so supportive, so wonderful. I'm just still speechless, to be honest with you. I can't believe that this is my real life. So thank you guys so much. Another thing that comes with not only the YouTube memberships, but the membership in Patreon is the dinner party. And, you know, we did the Britney Spears book club for Chef's Kiss. And now we're moving on to something else. But I do want to bring this up to everyone that is here. So for Dinner Party and for even first tier Patreon members, we have been doing Social Change Now, which is a guide for reflection and connection. And this workbook has been so transformative, and it's all about finding our own unique voices, our unique talents, and how we can bring those into creating change. And this has been one of my favorite aspects of ePredators, to be honest with you, is connecting with everyone and learning, who they are and how they want to show up in this world, and owning their unique voices and their unique talents. And it's so wonderful. And that's every other Friday for members only and Patreon members. And I cannot hype this enough, honestly. I really cannot. This has been transformative for me. And I hope that if there's anyone wondering if they want to, I hope that you join, because even if it's not for survivors, however you're wanting to show up for social change matters, and it's all about finding your unique voice. And so that's what we've been doing every other Friday. And then on the off Fridays, we will be introducing Hard Feelings by Janette McCurdy here. We just finished the Britney Spears book club. That was so inspiring and eye-opening, etc. And now we're moving on to Janette McCurdy, which here at, ePredators, we're trying to platform all survivors' voices. And I'm really looking forward to this one. So what we will be doing is listening to each episode one by one, reflecting on it, talking about our own hard feelings, and also maybe following in Janette McCurdy's footsteps and starting to create our own voice memos of things that are coming up. And we might not share it with one another, but just starting to do that exercise. And I'm really, really, really excited about that. So that's every other Friday when we're not doing the Social Change Now. So I'm sure everyone's like, what the fuck are we doing today? What are we doing today? Well, I wasn't sure what the first episode of NOmoreSTALGIA was going to be quite honest with you. I wasn't sure what was gonna reveal itself to me. And I don't know if anyone has watched the Matthew Underwood videos that I have made over the last few weeks. It was in regard to one of his leaked emails to a fan. Oh, Martin, you are a wholesome, wonderful person, Alexa. Martin, thank you so much for being here. Look at all these gifts also going around. This is so exciting. It's so nice to see everybody. So I got access to these leaked emails by Matthew Underwood, and let's just say they weren't the best to read. They were problematic for a lot of different reasons, and also a little bit heartbreaking because, I haven't really heard from any of the cast members other than, Jamie Lynn Spears, but we know how that went down before her book came out. And then, Sean Flynn, who, I was friends with Sean Flynn past the Zoey 101 days. And he has really been the only person who has reached out to me after the reunion, etc. But for the most part, none of them have really spoken to me. And on top of that, none of them have even shown any support for the activism work I've been doing or speaking out about my own personal experience with Nickelodeon and Dan Schneider. So that's been, quite a bummer. And to see one of my past co-stars putting more effort into defending Dan Schneider and, speaking to somebody that he doesn't necessarily know personally, at least not in the same way that I feel like I've known Matt growing up. And so, so I released those videos and I didn't know what was going to come of it. And sure enough, the individual who Matthew Underwood was emailing reached out to me with a lot more information. And the more that I heard from her about her personal experience as a fan, I couldn't see any better fit for the first episode of No More Nostalgia, because we are about to hear from a fan of Zoey 101, a fan who had a fan page on Instagram, who got caught up in something that, you know, in my opinion, could have been dealt with better. And, you know, I've spoken a lot about fandom and the harmful things sometimes that comes along with fandom. A lot of survivors of certain people were fans before they were SA'd. A lot of fans have looked up to certain individuals and found out they weren't what they were projecting. They weren't who they were saying they were. And I think fans get let down a lot nowadays, you know, either from being in a face-to-face situation with them or even a virtual one. And so I wanted to platform this incredible fan of Zoey 101 and let her tell us her story when she came into contact with all of the cast members of Zoey 101 and what she learned, what she liked, what she didn't like, and what she would hope for to be better in the future when it comes to fan dynamics with public figures. And you guys, when I say my mind was blown, it's because it is, and it was. I've gotten more clarity through this individual than I did from any of the cast members of Zoey 101, which is just like, how is that even possible that I'm getting more clarity, more healing, etc. from a fan of Zoey 101? And that's honestly special in a lot of ways. I'm grateful for this guest, and I want to make sure that we are collectively creating a safe space for her to speak about everything that she experienced, speak about Matthew Underwood, those emails, fan page, Chris Massey, all of it. Jamie Lynn Spears. Oh, and guess what? Dan Schneider too. That's right. Dan Schneider too is involved in all of this, allegedly. So oh my God, wait, another one? Oh my God, thank you so much. This is so sweet for the holiday seasons. I didn't even see that. Oh my God, there's 5 and 10. This is so sweet. Grab them. Grab the memberships. This is so sweet. Happy holidays, everyone. Happy holidays. Power to survivors. So we're going to be bringing on this wonderful guest. Her name is Samantha. She created a fan page for the Zoey 101 reboot. I'm not sure if anyone has followed that page before it was shut down. But yeah, so she created Zoey 101 _reboot. And I'm really happy to have her here today because you know what? Not only did she heal and give me a lot of clarity when it came to my childhood, not just that, it also helped me reconnect with a Zoey 101 cast member as of recent. And I connected with them, reconnected with them, and they're going to be coming on the show this month. And so there's been a lot of good that has come out of this, and also a lot of that's not necessarily good, and we should definitely do better and be better and hold certain people accountable. So let's bring on Samantha. Let's give her a bunch of hearts in the chat. Show her a lot of support. And yeah. Oh, I see her. Oh yeah, I want to hear her. Oh wait, do I need to I need to reconnect, I think, right here. Okay, I'm Bluetooth for the Rodecaster. Oh, okay. Samantha, I see you. Oh, I could hear her. Samantha, how are you?
You.
I'm so good. I'm so happy to have you here on the show. Also, it's the first episode of No More Nostalgia, so this is just so exciting in general. And I want to just say first and foremost that your honesty and your kindness, and also you being honest about how you were manipulated and what you learned from that in regards to me personally, and even apologizing to me, was just so sweet. And I just want everyone to know that here is an individual that, definitely thought her own thoughts about what happened on the set of Zoey 101, and even maybe was outspoken or digging, etc. And, realized for herself that things weren't exactly how they were being told to her, and has apologized even to me. And I just think that's so wonderful, because I wish that my cast members did the same.
And they knew you personally. That's the sad part.
That is the sad part. We haven't even met in person. I mean, obviously virtually, but we haven't met in person. And like, you have been so kind and just honest with me. And I really appreciate that. I really do. Seriously.
Oh, definitely. And I do apologize for everything because I was not nice at first. Like Sean and them, they were able to convince me of all these horrible things weren't true.
Yeah. And
There is a little
I'm,
bit of an echo, by the way.
is there a little bit of an echo? Can you hear
Yeah.
me? Echo, echo. We're in an echo chamber. Yeah, maybe turn it down a little bit. But I first want to have everyone meet you. And so please share, anything you want to about yourself that you feel obviously comfortable with, just so we know who you are and what kind of led you to getting to the point where you created the Zoey 101 Reboot page.
Well, obviously my name is Samantha, but I started the fan page when I noticed the cast had done the reunion dinner. It was July 30th,
Mm-hmm.
2019. Um, Basically, I had messaged Sean and I said I was really excited to see them all together, that it would be cool to get a movie or like a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And he he kind of like encouraged me to make the page. Like he didn't straight up say like, "Hey, make this Zoey 101 page," but you should do something to help make those things happen. So I made the fan page. Sean and Dan were my first followers. Dan was very supportive. He always liked my stuff, but he never messaged me personally. He, I think because he knew my age,
Mm-hmm.
like he didn't want anything to do with me.
That's so
But
dark.
Sean definitely, I think, got the rest of the cast to follow me. Like Paul was after that, Chris was after that, Jamie, like then behind the scene characters were following me.
Wait, I love that you had the whole cast following you. And honestly, I think there's only one cast member that follows me. Wait, I think Jamie Lynn Spears actually might still follow me, but that wasn't until way later. So I think it's just like Sean and Jamie that
Yeah.
follow, which
And Jamie
is,
probably only follows you for the clout of it, knowing that people are watching.
well, yeah, I mean that's honestly not too far from the truth. I'm sorry to interrupt, but sorry, go on, go on.
No, it's fine. Really, I was having a good time with the page, but then you came out and started telling your story, and I started getting a lot of hate for what I was posting and not including you in the post. But you had already blocked me at that point because I had messaged you saying
Wait, I
you
blocked
were
you? Wait, hold on. Rewind. Wait, I blocked you?
Yeah, I had made some statements to you saying that you were lying and that there was no proof. It was, back in the it was it was so long ago that you should have moved on. But I
Oh, yeah, I
didn't
get that a
face
lot.
my own trauma yet, so I didn't understand yours.
Right. I mean, that's actually a
Um,
very poignant statement because I honestly don't think any of us truly can understand someone else's trauma and how they personally choose to deal with it until we've kind of faced our own and started our own personal journey and how we want to face it.
exactly.
And then we get more compassion for how others are going on their journey of healing. So I totally get that and I understand what you're saying. I
And
understand what
like
you're
you
saying.
said at the beginning of the video, like I was holding on to that nostalgia because that's all I had. Like my childhood was my happy place. Zoe 101 was my happy place.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to believe that the producer was harming children.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and who wants to think that?
Right.
Um,
No one. Not even the people who are on the set. No one.
but but then I just started really digging deep into the behind the scenes of Zoe 101. Like I started going to Aaron's mother's website, which had photos of like Aaron in bikinis for wardrobe shoots.
Yeah, wardrobe fittings. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And some of the photos should have not been online. Like some
Mm-hmm.
were cute and adorable, whatever, but like the bikinis, like the skimpier outfits, they shouldn't have been online. And they were
Mm-hmm.
posted by her mother of all people. Like then I see photos of Aaron sitting on Dan's lap. I would never sit on my boss's lap
Yeah.
ever. Like that's so wrong and HR should be all over that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's tons of photos of her sitting on his lap.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just all these connections started connecting, and I messaged Matthew and I was like, hey, honestly, like tell me what's going on. Like, what have you heard about Dan? Was Alexa lying? Is she telling the truth? And then he sent me that long email telling me
The
basically that I
novel.
need
The
to keep
novel.
quiet. Yeah, like he was telling me that I'm dumb and I need to keep quiet because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
Like everything's a lie.
Mm-hmm. And
Um,
telling you to delete
It
your
didn't,
page, right?
yeah, because I had switched it to that exposing Dan. Um,
What made you change it? Did you just like wake up one day and you were like, I'm just gonna switch it the fuck over to exposing Dan from Zoey 101 Reboot fan page?
yeah, it was just everything.
Wait,
It
sorry.
it
I'm
was
gonna
like,
there we go. Wait. It is unmuted. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure that you can hear me through Discord. Um, what was I saying? Wait, sorry. Yeah. So what did switch you over from the Zoey 101 Reboot to Dan Schneider?
it was Salone's videos, honestly. Like he
It was
kept posting
slow.
videos about you and Janette and Miranda and all these stars that I love
Mm-hmm,
that I don't
mm-hmm,
want to see get hurt are
mm-hmm,
being hurt. And I just couldn't excuse it anymore.
mm-hmm.
So I figured since I had the platform, I had like 20,000 followers.
That's a lot of
So
followers.
I decided, yeah, I was just going to make that switch. I let every cast member know that I was making that switch and I was apologizing to them and telling them, like, thank you for the support.
Uh-huh.
Jamie saw all of that. She liked it. She messaged me saying that Dan was a creep and knew to stay away from him
Wait, can
and
we
wanted
hold
to
on
see
for
that
1 second? Wait. Just to clarify what Samantha is saying here. So this is what was really mind blowing for me personally, is that obviously I spoke out about my feelings, my experience with Dan Schneider, with Nickelodeon. None of them messaged me, obviously, saying they supported me privately. No one said anything publicly. But Jamie Lynn Spears told this lovely fan here, Samantha, what she thought of Dan Schneider. And wow, I honestly was not expecting this. So I'm gonna pull up this screenshot here on my laptop for everyone to see. Oh, do you want to pull it up? It will look better. Ooh, I don't know if is it in the Jamie Lynn Spears message? There it is. There it is, you all. So let's just read really quickly what Jamie Lynn Spears said to Samantha here. She said, I haven't seen anything about him lately because I truly have to stay away from the press to protect me and my family's sanity. But off the record, well, now, by the way, Jamie, it's on the record today. I never had any inappropriate experience myself with him. But I also just never liked his energy, even as a young kid. So I stayed away from him and we didn't communicate on anything outside of work. And I think he knew I didn't like him. The Zoey reboot does not involve him, but is there any new info that has come out? I would want to be aware if so that I can support anyone who was hurt by him. Well, Jamie, it's almost 2024 and a lot of individuals have come forward about the ways in which Dan Schneider has hurt them. And have we heard anything from Jamie Lynn Spears? Publicly, privately? No. Only when it comes to messaging Samantha here. Jamie, if you want to finally come public, hop on to this Discord and let's hash it out.
Her way of supporting you was to make a Zoey 102 and not even include you?
Yeah. Well, what you told me, this is something I'm very interested in hearing about. So when it came to the Zoey 101 reboot, I think I've heard a little bit about this when it came to Paul Butcher, but that Jamie was trying to pitch a show that only was about her and her daughter?
Yes. So I had talked with Paul and he had found out that Jamie went behind their backs and asked for a reboot of just her and her daughter, but was telling the rest of the cast, like, oh, yeah, I'm including you. Like, you're going to be in it. And Nickelodeon obviously wasn't having any of it because they included everyone.
So wait, she was telling them that they were going to be included, but then she was going to Nickelodeon not including anybody.
Exactly.
Do you think
and that's when Paul made that switch of like not supporting the reboot and saying like, hey, it's not going to happen?
Do you think that Jamie wasn't at the reunion? Because obviously I wasn't there, or I've spoken out about why I wasn't there, but Jamie wasn't there. Do you think she wasn't there because of what she messaged here when it came to Dan Schneider, that she didn't want to be around Dan?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That or because she has kids and just couldn't make it.
Right.
I don't know where she's living. I think they went to Los Angeles or somewhere and met. So it could have been hard for her to travel, but I mean, I could imagine if she doesn't want anything to do with him.
Right.
That
she's like, I'm good. Well, that's what I said. I was like,
don't get why he was in the first place. Did he invite them all?
Right.
Like,
that's true. That's something I've been wondering too, is if Dan Schneider was the one who orchestrated the whole thing. Because I said publicly that, I was hurt, obviously, that they didn't invite me to the reunion, because I thought like, hey, like we're older now and we can totally, just hopefully be friends. But when I realized that Dan Schneider was at the reunion, I think I commented right away in 2019 and said, if I would not have gone, obviously, if I knew Dan Schneider was there. Where is he? Right there. I'd be like, I'm good. I don't want to be there. So now seeing Jamie Lynn Spears' message about Dan Schneider, I'm like, okay, so maybe it was because of the kids and she couldn't make it, or maybe it's because she didn't want to be around Dan Schneider.
I mean, yeah, because I don't think he was a part of the all that or anything, and she was there for that.
Right. Right. No, he wasn't a part of that, which is a whole other story. So, okay, so the reunion happens, you make the page, which basically was Sean kind of talking to you, maybe encouraging you to
Yeah.
create this fan page. And then what ended up happening after they all started following you? Did they all individually start messaging you as well?
Yes. So whenever like the time capsule thing
Yeah.
happened, Jamie asked me to post it at the same time as them. And she made me feel like I was a part of this clique. Like they
Uh-huh.
would always tell me how like my hashtag was gonna be the reason they get the movie and like crap like that. And they made me feel like I was starting this movement, like I was a part of this group, and it was really just so I would promote things for free. When the all that episode happened, Jamie asked me not to post it. She said, "Hey, don't post it for so many days. Like, wait until we do." And so I waited. Uh,
So they were
I had no
basically
problem doing it, but now it's like I realized they were using me.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you feel like the cast members of Zoey 101 used you?
Oh, for sure. Because I never got anything but praise out of it. And they knew
Mhm.
what to say because I'm a fan.
Right.
Like, they knew I was gullible or naive.
Mhm.
Like, I'm younger than them.
Mhm.
They knew this.
How old were you when you started talking to the cast members?
That was 2000. I was 20,
Oh, okay. So yeah, so we're and how old are you now?
24.
Okay. Yeah, so that actually is and there's a power dynamic as well. It's not just the age difference, but obviously you're a fan and these are the actual cast members of Zoey 101. And
Yeah.
they can't not say that they don't know the influence that they have on a fan. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
can't say that. So what ended up happening? So basically Jamie goes and pitches this whole daughter mom thing, leaves out the cast. And when did you get notification when it was becoming an actual like thing where it was going to be all of the cast members?
No, I was out of the loop at that point. I didn't think a movie was happening, honestly. Like when I found out
Wow.
that they were doing the Zoe 102 movie, like it blew
Hmm.
my mind. I was like, okay, Paul's not a part of it. That makes sense. Like Paul
Right.
has been bashing it for a while
Right.
now. I was surprised to see Matthew in there because after
Uh-huh.
everything me and him talked about, like
Uh-huh.
he said he didn't need it anymore. Like,
Right. Yeah,
so
didn't he
why are
say
you in the
him and
movie?
wait, didn't he say like him and Nickelodeon and Dan went separate ways and then sure enough, fast forward he's like in the reboot
Like he has all these degrees and has
in
all this
logic.
life and exactly, but like goes back to Zoe 102. Like
Right.
the concept of the movie was horrible. Like they didn't do it for the fans, they did it for the money of it, for the publicity.
Yeah, that was something I only saw bits and pieces of Zoe 102 and it did not feel like it was really living up to what I thought a reboot should be. And what I found was interesting was you showed me that Paul Butcher, which I was honestly shocked about. Which mad props to Paul Butcher for saying this honestly, that he didn't want to be part of the reboot unless all of the cast members were going to be in it.
Yeah. And he wanted it done by the fans. Like I have mixed feelings when it comes to Paul because he was so kind to me and he had great intentions,
Hmm.
but then he hangs around the wrong people. And it's like,
Right.
are you just as bad as them? Are you putting on a front? Like,
Yeah, that was something I was going to ask you. So you ended up doing these interviews with some of the Zoe 101 cast members, like the dean
Yes.
the dean. And then we'll talk about what's his name also later. But when it came to Paul Butcher, when you wanted him to do this nice little shout out, obviously, to the fan page that the Zoey 101 cast members were kind of orchestrating behind the scenes, what ended up happening when you wanted him to be a part of that Q&A?
Well, I asked him to do a Q&A. He said he would love to. I made a post and got people's comments and questions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then he kept having an excuse for everything. He's like, "Oh, I got to go to the studio and record my new song. That is, I got to record the video to the new song. Now I got to do shoots for the song. I got to do press." Um, and so he never got around to it. And I was sympathetic because I'm like, "Oh, your life is so glamorous. Like, you got to do so much. Like, the fact that you even thought about me is
That TikTok
amazing."
life, like
Yeah, like
you do
I just
you.
excused it. But he should have
Right,
just told me straight up, "Hey, I don't have the time for it. I'm sorry I
right.
ever brought it up."
I mean, how often
Like
were
he
you
did.
guys talking though? I mean, did you talk to him often?
Yeah, him and Matthew and Kristin I talked to the most.
Okay, so getting into Kristin, which, by the way, I must say, healed some more of my little tiny, childhood wounds. Obviously, Kristin Herrera played Dana on Zoey 101, and I never personally heard from her when it came to our childhood, the bullying, etc. But here is a one. This is so meta and like it's so wild. But here is a fan of Zoey 101 who got a message from Kristin Dana in regards to the past. Would you like to share that with everyone today? What she told you?
Yeah,
Hmm?
she basically
No.
apologized. Like she said she wanted to reach out to you and felt bad. Now that she's a mom, she would never want her kid to go through something like that. She genuinely seemed sorry.
Hmm.
She doesn't want to be in all the limelight and all the bull crap.
Hmm.
So I think she hasn't apologized to you because of that.
Uh-huh.
But I'm hoping someday she will, honestly.
Me
Just I
too.
feel like she will.
Yeah, because it would be nice to even get, privately, like even, these things don't even have to be necessarily public. They can just be a private, message. And that would
Exactly.
mean the world to me. So that was just nice, though, to hear that Kristin Herrera was validating the experiences in the sense of bullying, and feels bad that that happened. And now that she's a mom, she doesn't want that obviously to happen ever again, which I totally get with my kids. That's why I'm here honestly today, is I'm doing most of my advocacy work because of my children. So I think kids can give us a lot of perspective and make us go, "Oh wow, okay. I see now how this is harmful or this is not okay." And hold ourselves accountable after having children. So that's honestly really nice to hear that she said that. Now, Victoria Justice though was not messaging you, I'm going to guess.
Oh, heavens no. Definitely not. But
Victoria's like,
that's the approach
"Nah."
you need to take when it comes to these fan pages. Like she has fan pages, but she doesn't interact with them.
Right, yeah,
Like,
I get that.
and
Like
that's
I've had
fine. That's great. That's what you need to do.
right. I agree because honestly when I would see fan pages, coming through my DMs, like if I just saw a photo of me, like I would heart it or I'd be like, "Oh, thank you so much." Like, obviously because I think it's really sweet that they're supportive and I don't
Yeah.
want them to feel like they're ignored in any way. But to start messaging them, like did you feel that they were influencing what you were actually posting?
Oh, for sure. Like anytime, like with the all that episode, like I was posting that crap nonstop, and like they would ask me to post certain photos. They would send me their behind the scenes photos of things happening on set, so I could post them.
Wait. They would send you photos that was like BTS, then you would post those BTS photos?
Yeah, Like some of the photos, I can't remember exactly who sent it, been Chris, but like there was just some photos from the Zoey 101 video
Right.
of them just together, selfies, some from the reunion. I was like, hey, if you had any or any photos that you haven't posted, like I will take them.
Right. Right.
But I never said when I would post them. Like that's when they were kind of dictating it a little bit.
Wow. So
Like,
that you
hey,
were
could you
all
post it with us?
collectively, so you were like all collectively
Yeah,
posting at the same time.
yeah. And it made me feel like I was a part of this group, like I was this
Right.
part of this clique.
Right.
And they just knew. They knew better.
So when you switched it over to a Dan Schneider kind of like expose, what was this is blew my mind, you guys. I did not know this until having this conversation with Samantha um, about some of the guys that were these girls' boyfriends in Zoey 101 and also
Uh,
honestly iCarly as well. And you know, just to remind everybody here, over the age of 18, you cannot have any type of I don't want to use the word intimacy because I hate that word as well, but like no intimate contact with a minor in any type of way. I'm sure a lot of people here might have watched clips of To Catch a Predator, but even if the person shows up at the front door and they haven't even physically gotten to contact with the minor, they're arrested because you even showing up with that intention, kissing, whatever, is illegal. Now, in Hollywood, they seem to not understand that. They also, I guess, technically are above the law because no one was arrested that day on set. No one got in trouble that day on set when it came to the casting of these boyfriends or these hookups that these minors were having on Dan Schneider's show. And I had no idea until Samantha showed me. So, can you tell me the first time you realized the age difference and who it was with?
well, I was talking to a certain cast member's mother, and she was telling me some of her fun facts about her son on the show. And she mentioned that Dan knew that her son was 21, that they had to put, I believe he said that they had to put his age at 18. So lying about your age is still illegal, though, you know?
Yeah, it's like 18, 20,
Um,
dude, whatever. You're over the age of 18.
and he had to kiss a 13-year-old Victoria Justice. And Dan is known for making kids do their kissing over and over and over again. Some kind of perverted thing he has. Um, so I
Wait.
imagine there
She
was
was
more than one
third.
kiss.
Wait, Victoria Justice was 13, and this guy was how old?
20.
Oh my God. I actually choked. And they're kissing?
Yeah, and
That
not
is,
more than once. And it's not the first time Victoria Justice has had to kiss someone older than her on that show.
there are more?
The guy who played Leif, Jason Vosberg,
How old is
um,
he?
he he was 18 and she was 14.
Casting, Nickelodeon. Hello, where are you? Yeah, what the fuck, guys? This is an actual crime, Nickelodeon. I'm
And not
sorry,
only did they do it with the girls, but they did it with the boys. Because Noah Monk was 13 when he had to kiss a 18-year-old girl.
Wait a minute. You're saying that also with the boy, the girl was over, and this is on a
Yep,
Dan Schneider show.
yep, it was on iCarly.
Can we, Adam, pull up the compilation that Samantha put together? Samantha put together a compilation that obviously, wait, by the way, Nickelodeon actually put up some of this compilation That is, by the way, a crime. But they're still flaunting it on YouTube as a kiss compilation. Really, it should be a compilation of crimes of
Literally, because this
minors.
stuff could still be prosecuted. Like, it's ridiculous.
Okay, so this is the video. Can we watch this really quickly? Let's check this out.
What?
Wait, how old is he? We just pause it. How old? How old is that guy?
I can't see the video.
Oh, okay, it's the first one with Victoria Justice. Oh, click on my streaming screen. Oh, Adams. Click on
Okay,
Adams
the
streaming.
first boy is Leif.
Okay, how old is he?
The character. He was 18.
Okay, and how old was
And
she?
she was 14. Yeah.
Nice, sweet.
No. What is that music? But by the way, the music is very odd considering the context to this crime. By the way,
See, I didn't listen to the music. I was just trimming the video.
I'm sure you were. Okay, let's continue. Okay. What the fuck? Why are they yelling like this in the background? The wild thing here is, imagine you walked in on this happening, and this wasn't a set environment, and you're like, okay, how old are you? How old are you? Wouldn't he be arrested?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm getting this, Adam, right. He would have been arrested, but Nickelodeon is protecting this crime. I'm like, I can't even believe the words that are coming out of my mouth, you guys. This crime, Nickelodeon's protecting it, and as Matthew Underwood likes to say it, there's a social worker on set that is making sure that kids are. Is the social worker making sure also that there aren't crimes happening on set when it comes to minors, etc.? Where's the social worker, Matt? Crickets? Okay. Here's Matt.
Really? And he's there, exactly.
He's there!
Gross, let's go.
Like,
Well, what a wild freeze frame there. That's how I feel inside, honestly, right now. I'm not gonna lie, like that's my soul at this very moment. I'm freaking out, you guys. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, and you've never kissed someone you didn't
Okay,
like?
wait, pause it.
Of course I have. I didn't like you.
Is that the 20-year-old?
sorry, I'm trying to look on the live and
You're
it's
okay.
a little late.
It's okay, don't worry at all. It looks like a short hair buzz cut-ish kind of guy.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go to the video.
He's the second dude. If you look on Discord, you can watch Adam's screen that he's streaming, if you want to. I'm guessing this is the 20. Was he 20 or 22?
Okay, I'm going to it now.
Okay.
Oh, yes, he was the one that was 20.
He's 20 years old? Wait, and how old is she?
She was,
I 16.
believe she was 13.
No, she was not.
Kissed someone
No.
you didn't like?
Of course I have. I didn't like
Wait.
Yes, she was 13 and he was 20.
you.
But who loves me now?
Me?
Oh.
Ew! Yo!
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? My mind. See, this didn't happen when I was there. Like, I didn't see
So this was the season after you.
what happened. Wait, why? The casting director for Zoey 101 knew the age difference and no one went, yo, you know, crime. This could maybe, this isn't this an A of a minor? Like, because it's never consensual with a minor. And then you got the pressure of the studio and Dan writing the script, writing the scene. So the kid is technically coerced into, I am speechless right now.
Ah.
Yeah.
Girls. Special girl.
Ew, guys.
And it's
He
not
did
just one scene, it's multiple scenes.
Special girl. Imagine To Catch a Predator, you know, that show, and that guy rolls in and he's going up to a 13-year-old girl as a 20-year-old, my special girl. It'd be like, lock him up. Like, you know what I mean?
Literally.
What is someone saying here? And didn't Matt say there was nothing inappropriate happening? Yes, he did.
With Brando. I know they were friends. So I know they knew each other's age. And I try not to excuse him all the way because he is a really nice guy and he's always been honest with me. He could have hid this. He could have let this slide, but he wanted to tell me that Dan was not a good person.
So wait, he told you he felt awful about this situation? Oh,
yes, because I talked to him
out.
and his mother about it. And yeah, he didn't feel right about it, but he said he needed the money, he needed the job. But that's where
were all the adults here? Not even just Dan Schneider. You have casting, you have script supervisor, you have prop, you have crafty. You got a whole bunch of people on set. No one was like, yo, this is not okay. See, this is why I have a problem with this, because, which is why I protested. Nickelodeon does not give, and I'm going to say it one more time, a flying fuck about children. They really do not, which is why I said
they don't.
Nickelodeon, you know, didn't protect me. They don't protect the children because we're watching on screen. And by the way, Nickelodeon created this Kiss compilation, which is so damning for them. A Kiss compilation that has legit crimes within it. Of
literally.
No, that was she put the ones together that were the crimes, but that was an actual full video of Kiss compilations of children, which in itself is.
Oh, and the Victorious one is disgusting, like literal make-out scenes.
Okay, let's keep watching it because I'm freaking out a little bit. All right, let's continue watching this compilation. I'm this is, how is the chat? They made a comp, you guys. They made a compilation. It's on Nick Rewind or something. Okay, let's keep watching. His face is accurate. That's an accurate. He reacted, I think, the way that everyone else should have been reacting in that situation, is just screaming in absolute horror of just being disgusted, honestly, and freaked out that this is happening. Okay, let's.
Well, I am just psyched I got to see you, even wearing that.
Wait, why doesn't he stop them for real, though?
I'm gonna put on some music.
Music works.
Wait, there's a bed there. There's a bed there.
And he...
How old is he? Let's just clarify, how old is this guy? By the bed?
He was 23 and she was 16. Yeah. And they also used him in Hannah Montana, so I'm not sure if he was older than 18 whenever he was with Miley Cyrus on Disney.
cannot believe this. Okay. Oh, this freeze frame is freaking me out. Okay.
Have fun at school.
Is that a stuffed animal?
I'll miss you.
You're back in.
Oh, thank you.
True.
It's like a baby.
Lynn.
Is that Emily Is that?
Yes.
Wait, that's Emily
She was
Rogers.
18 years old.
And how old were they dating in the show?
Yes.
Okay. So Nickelodeon just got a whole lot grosser, honestly. Like just. Oh, wait, there's a super chat where they say, let's make it clear that adult actors can and do say no. 20-year-old Sterling. You want me to tell you something about Sterling Knight? You know what? Wait, Sterling Knight said what? I'm sorry. I know Sterling Knight personally. He was also at Andrew Caldwell's party. 20-year-old Sterling Knight told Disney Channel he would not kiss his 14-year-old co-star. He refused.
What, in that Starstruck movie or something?
I have no comment to Sterling Knight. I know Sterling Knight very well from my childhood, and I didn't see him saying the same thing. No, whatever. No comment. I'm not even sure. That's another day. I can't believe Sterling Knight. I haven't. Okay, I'm saying focus. Anyways, my point is that people can say no, which is true. And at the same time, I think the environment that these actors are in, once again, they feel that they don't want to be problematic. They don't want to seem like they're making a big deal out of something. Also, we're taught in acting, obviously, it's not real. It's pretend, like acting. And where do you draw the line with that? Where is that line drawn? And for me personally, that line is drawn when there is a child having to have intimate contact with an adult, with someone over the age of 18 years old. And the fact that that is considered technically a crime and no one got held accountable, no one felt fearful about it, nothing ended up happening there. Which is just, that is, I'm honestly shocked because, by the way, I don't know if anyone knows this, but when Janette McCurdy's first edition of her book came out, and we all know that she called him allegedly the creator. But in the first edition of the book, the editor fucked up and totally forgot to take out Dan. Wait, Adam, do you have this? Should I Okay, yeah, let me see if I can pull. Okay, yeah, let me see if I can pull this up because this is pretty wild. And I don't even know if anyone, wait, why isn't this going through? Go up. There we go. Oh, it won't send. What a bummer. Oh, wait. And we can't show my screen at all. Okay. That's okay. Okay. So if everyone can see this, this is the first edition of Janette McCurdy's book, I'm Glad My Mom Died. And someone who I know very close to me sent me a page from the first edition. Oh, he did. My bad, Alexa. I didn't know anything bad about him. I just saw of saying no. No, you're totally fine. I just was so surprised to see Sterling Knight, honestly, because I haven't heard that name in a while. And very wild context, by the way. No, you're totally good. You're totally good. So in the first edition of the book, someone got that first edition and realized that they forgot to edit out Dan's name. So it says, I even have the name picked out, just Puckett. Isn't that funny for your own show? Dan asks with a smirk. And the second edition, it doesn't say Dan there. It says the creator. And it says it can't happen for a while because iCarly's doing well. And then you can see we'll have to wait a couple years, the creator reiterates. So this blew my mind because I know a lot of people are like, okay, was it Dan? Or, obviously we all know. But whoopsie, the editor forgot to take out Dan's name in the first edition, which honestly might be a purposeful mistake. I might have made that purposeful mistake just so everyone knew what was actually going on here. What does Christopher say? Christopher, thank you so much. Oh, you see the black box there? That's what I was dealing with for the last hour while we were getting ready. Are these older kids seriously kissing younger ones on these shows of Dan's? Wow, I knew Dan was creepy, but I didn't think he was this creepy. Yeah, see, this is the problem, which is why it's honestly so sad that some of the Nickelodeon stars that have spoken out, obviously Samantha, about these things, like, I just showed right now the creator, Dan Janette McCurdy, people are like, well, was he that bad? And that's why I always like to say, it's not just about Dan Schneider. It's about the institution, Nickelodeon, that was not only allowing this behavior and now technically crimes to happen on set, but we're putting money into it, which I don't know if that brings in a whole new level of corruption. And I don't know, that adult got paid to kiss a minor. Now,
And it's all recorded.
In a compilation video that is still on Nickelodeon's YouTube page. What is the page, by the way? Who? Oh, look what fell down. How ironic. How ironic that this is what fell down while I was talking about that. I don't think that's a coincidence, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, you're over here. I'm like, where do you go? But sorry, where is it on YouTube? Like, what page?
It was Nickelodeon. It might be Nick Rewind, but it was definitely one of their main YouTube channels. And the Victorious one is disgusting. Like, I couldn't even look through it.
Can we put a link in the comments in the chat so that we can start, hitting up Nickelodeon and being like, hello, there are crimes here going on. This person was 20, this person was 13, etc. Like, just hello? Nickelodeon, might be time for you to remove this video and make a statement. Like Nickelodeon's ever going to say a statement. I've tried to get them to say a statement and, obviously no, but now they really should. They've recorded it. They've posted it. They seem to be proud of being able to do that and get away with that. I'm in shock still. I'm in shock. And the president, what? Are you serious? See, this is why Nickelodeon. So what do you think the difference is between Nickelodeon and Disney, Samantha, from your own point of view as looking back at your childhood, looking back at Disney and Nickelodeon? What have you noticed as the difference?
So Nickelodeon is just.
And if you're going to say, just say PDF file, just in case that ends up coming up. Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
It's just over. Disney was very racist, sexist. They talked about women's bodies constantly and how we're supposed to be skinny. Nickelodeon, they just put gross jokes.
Yeah, combine it together and that's what you get.
So I would say they're more sexual, and Disney is just more on the wrong side of history.
Right.
Like, I think Disney could learn to do better, but I don't think Nickelodeon will ever change. Like,
Well, this
Nickelodeon, that's their heart, that's their soul. They're disgusting.
uh-huh.
Disney, like, they just don't know better. They're holding on to these ideals from 50 years ago.
Mhm.
Um,
Well,
'Cause I
the
think about the way, like, Raven was mistreated,
uh-huh.
Raven Simone,
Uh-huh.
hers was about her skin. She was
Uh-huh.
never sexually assaulted or hurt,
Uh-huh.
um, but Nickelodeon stars is the difference.
Uh-huh. Well,
Uh,
when I think about it, when I like look at Disney and when I look at Nickelodeon, the one problem that I do see with Disney that is up and beyond the fact that they have a crossover of boomer era, the height of misogyny, etc., is that do you know who Brian Peck is?
yes.
Okay. So when Brian Peck was blank, 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 I think convicted, pretty positive, allegedly here, blank, blank,
I
blank.
heard it was allegedly Drake Bell.
Whoa. I wasn't even prepared to hear that. Um,
That's what I've heard, and that's why it makes so much sense when I hear that he's doing it to other kids and stuff. It's like it's a never-ending cycle.
well, this is the thing with like, I try to talk about this a lot, obviously, in earlier episodes, is about, breaking the cycle because this is why we survivors need allies and need community support is because if they're taught to bury what they've experienced, their trauma, that speaking up about it and wanting love and support, if they get shunned when they do that, they will end up internalizing that. And what happens with internalizing that is it can either become self-destructive, where sadly so many survivors are not here today because they are no longer alive, or they end up being destructive towards others because it's all trauma regaining power from their situation. And that's why I really like to say over and over again, power to survivors, because if we allow survivors to feel empowered and to get their power back, they're not going to look through unhealthy outlets to gain that power back. And I think it will
Exactly.
actually stop it. It will stop the cycle. And that's why it's so important to stop trolling on survivors. Go troll on Donald Trump or someone, dude. I don't know, someone else. Don't troll on a survivor because it is a life or unalive situation that you are approaching. And it can help them heal, or it can help them become self-destructive or be destructive towards others. And we want to break that. And sadly, the community does not understand how we are all complicit in how a survivor heals, how another human being heals. And it's up to us as a community to allow them to feel that they're supported. And that's what they truly want at the end of the day. I think that's what anybody wants, really, at the end of the day, but especially someone suffering from PTSD. And it's just this
Yeah.
never, and that's why it's so important for me personally when it comes to now making NOmoreSTALGIA is for all of us to collectively look back at our past and go, you know what? There's some things I liked here. This was funny, or this was safe, and this makes me feel good, or represented or supported. And then this is what I don't like and what I don't think is constructive and I think could be possibly problematic. And then have the conversation about how we can change things for the better. And the more I was thinking about it in the shower today, I realized that, the whole saying, history repeats itself. I feel like history, one of the reasons why it might actually also repeat itself is because a lot of us, at the end of the day, look back at our past with rose-colored glasses. And so much so that we don't realize how it's going to, because it didn't get fixed, because we didn't actually realize and think of some constructive way of fixing it, it's now in our present moment. It's in the future. And if we don't look at our past properly, we're not going to save the day. We're not going to be those superheroes. You know what I mean? We're not going to be that because we're not properly looking back at what could possibly repeat itself. And obviously here with Zoey 101, with Dan Schneider's TV shows, we look back at all of his shows in the past, and it seemed like it just got worse and worse, honestly. It doesn't look like it got better. It
No, it
looks
did
like
get worse. Victorious was literally the grossest show. It
That's
should
what
have
I
been for
hear.
teenagers, not for kids.
That's what I hear a lot. And with Brian Peck, sorry, going back to Brian Peck though, he was blank, 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 and allegedly, and then he ended up being the mirror, the voice of the mirror on The Sweet Life
Literally
of Zach
talking
and
about
Cody.
bodies,
Yeah.
like female bodies, judging
And
them, telling them they're not skinny enough, or this
wait,
outfit makes
what?
them look fat.
Wait, I
Yeah,
didn't
like
realize
it would
that.
literally be like that outfit makes you look fat. It's like, why does a child need to worry about their body? Like they're children.
Okay, so not only was he saying that, but they were also having him as a mirror, because I'm assuming that when you are an S offender, you are not allowed to be around children. And so they found a way to put him in an ADR box to make him the mirror. But what I don't like about it is obviously full circle here. Children find out who is on these TV shows. They find out, and with the internet now, they can go onto Instagram or they can go onto any of these social media platforms and find, hey, oh, that's the guy who played Chase, or oh, that's Alexa, she played Nicole, or Brian Peck, that's who played the mirror in Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, and that can give him access to more children.
Literally.
So
And
it's
that's
like,
why I'm speaking out, because I don't want Jamie to go message another fan that's 10 years old, convince them to do things for her, knowing
right,
they're naive.
right. And that's the thing, it's a
Like,
cycle of exploitation, because we were exploited as children within the entertainment industry, there are still a lot of us that don't want to necessarily face the ways in which we were exploited inappropriately without concern for our safety. And unfortunately, with that hyper normalization, it can recycle itself because of us not facing that it was not okay. Exploiting children in general, regardless of it being S or it being to create a fan page for a Zoey 101 reboot, or push this narrative, no matter what, children or even people that were children and that's what led them here, because that's also problematic, because if we are connecting with certain people before our frontal lobe has fully developed, then our connection to these people on our screens aren't necessarily what they would be if we were adults connecting with these people on these screens. And it could lead a lot of fans into not so safe environments. And I'm glad that your situation with the Zoey 101 cast was, sadly, but still just them trying to use you or using you to create this reboot out of not only your nostalgia for Zoey 101, but theirs, which I find is so interesting that it was two nostalgias, coming together in an unhealthy power dynamic. And, now what is this page? You don't have the Zoey 101 reboot page anymore, I'm guessing.
no.
Oh, wait. Can you please tell me what you told me? Because I think this is pretty wild. This is where I think it did go way too far in a very inappropriate way, was when it came to allegedly Christopher Massey. Can you explain what happened with Chris Massey?
Okay, so my memory is a little blurry, but he had messaged me
And say
because he had went
DV.
to jail.
DV. If you're going to say, you know what, just say DV. Okay. Go ahead.
I didn't know why he was in jail, but he said he needed help, he needed people on his side, this GoFundMe page to spread the word, basically. I was very concerned. I was like, "Why are you reaching out for help? But if you need help, obviously, I'll be there."
Mm-hmm.
So I shared whatever he wanted. Um, but then, yeah, I started finding out that like he hurt his girlfriends and that he liked minors and that his brother likes minors. And it's like, then
Wait a
he hangs
minute.
out with Jamie and Matt hangs out with him. And
Wait,
it's just,
he asked you to make a GoFundMe page to help him get out of jail?
he had a GoFundMe page started, but he wanted me to share it because he needed like bail money or something.
You guys. So if the audio cut out a little bit, Samantha is saying that Christopher Massey was reaching out to Samantha, sharing a GoFundMe page to help, I guess, get him out of jail. And allegedly, it could have been to do with a DV situation. And, you know, I'm really sorry. Like, I just want to say, I'm not really feeling good about my cast members in the sense where they're obviously, maybe in my opinion personally, they're not in the space where they're cycle breaking yet, or they're not in the place where they're understanding that fans are human beings too, and you know, to respect them like human beings and not use them for what their own personal agendas are. And I'm going to apologize for them because I honestly think someone has to. I think that is very scary that allegedly Christopher Massey did that. And, you know, all of them, really. It feels very shameless. And with Matthew Underwood, made you feel like, you know, dumb, and made you feel like, really honestly convinced you to do something you weren't necessarily wanting to do. Like, you wanted to make that page, that you were interested in looking into this, you were asking all of the right questions, and he, you know, persuaded you out of that in a way that felt like mansplaining. Personally, for me, it did feel like misogyny.
It very much was.
Yeah.
Like, he might as well have called me little girl at that point. Like, I appreciate you apologizing, and they should know better. They're in their 30s. They just need a profit. They just want money. So they're going to use whoever they can for it. Like, they know the fans make them money. So why not reach out to them, give them a little bit of attention so you can get whatever you want out of them. It's a form of grooming in a way. Like, they start us when we're young. Like, Nickelodeon got us all obsessed with Sean and Matthew and you and Jamie. And then whenever you're an adult, like, they have that choice to continue that cycle of like, you're in love with me, do whatever you want for me. Like, because I'm so and so, you'll do A, B, and C that you wouldn't do with some normal Joe Schmo.
Uh-huh.
And I wouldn't have been surprised if I did flirt with them if they would have flirted back. Like, if I said to Paul, like, I like your facial hair, he would be like, oh, I love you. And he would take it to that extra step. So if I would have taken it to an extra step, maybe they would have.
Wow.
Not sure.
Wow.
But the fact that he's saying I love you to a stranger,
Yeah.
and a fan of all people that's going to take that and run with it.
Yeah.
Like, I got so excited. I'm telling my boyfriend, like, oh my God, he said he loved me.
Right.
Like, I watched it when I was 6.
See, that, I mean, that as a survivor really freaks me out because, you know, that's unfortunately what got me into a very unsafe environment with my predator, was my fandom
Yeah, you
And
just loving what they do and what they're
right.
about.
And then all of a sudden it's like whoosh, you know, and then you get ABUSC, you know, the whole thing ends up happening. And that's why. So now that you're here, we're almost in 2024. I have two questions for you. First one is, if you were to be back in that situation, do you feel that you would have possibly told them kind of to fuck off? I'm curious how you feel now. Like, if you look at it, if they were telling you what to post, and you know, would you feel comfortable to share it, or would you still feel uncomfortable too?
I feel like it would just be the way they treated me, like how their
Uh,
heart genuinely was.
right,
Obviously, that cast, never again.
right.
Like, they would never be genuine enough to make me do anything.
Uh-huh.
But with like the fan page I run now,
Mm-hmm.
they're very genuine. They don't
Right.
ask me for things, but if they did, in the rare chance, I might. Like, I
Uh-huh.
would consider it, but I
Right.
would have to put logic in front of it and say, like, what's benefiting me?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And is this also, am I being coerced into this, or do I actually honestly want to do this? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
knowing that.
Like, now, if Matthew messaged me tonight after seeing all this, I
Mm-hmm.
would tell him to fuck off. I would tell him, like, hey, you're a hypocrite. You need to
Mm-hmm.
apologize to Alexa. You need to reread your email
Mm-hmm.
and then listen to Janette's book.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
he's
because he said he was going to, you know, if journalists did the story and blah, 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 you know, he would have
said he
taken it
didn't
seriously.
need Zoey 101 and Dan anymore, but then went
No,
and did the reboot. Like,
I know.
why? It's all
Yeah.
for the money. Like, he
Mm.
wants a good image. He wants to be known as a sweet guy that interacts with fans and like lives this simple life now. But he's the opposite. He's the complete opposite.
So what if, to close this out, if you were to, let's say the cast was here, and you wanted to say something to them about what you experienced, to almost also maybe give them a little nugget maybe of information for them to learn from, what would it be? What would you tell them?
I would just tell him to take a step back. You're irrelevant now. If this was meant for adults, wouldn't have been a problem. If they would
Right.
have been promoting things for adults, like the Zoey 101 reboot video or the Follow Me or whatever
Yep.
video, it was very childish. Lots of colors,
Right.
lots of high pitched
Nickelodeon.
noises. It was very much still for kids.
Right.
And yeah, I would just tell them to find a new audience.
But what
Like,
would you tell them about would you have said to them to handle it? How would you tell them to handle that situation differently? Not
I mean,
telling you what to post?
really just not interacting with the fans. Because,
Mm,
like you said, it's okay to say thank you for
right.
supporting me or
Right.
whatever, liking a post, but
Right.
DMing them, emailing them, getting personal information. Like, me and Paul talked about personal things. Me and Matthew talked about personal things that had nothing to do with the show. They should have never done that.
Mm-hmm. So they crossed the boundary of
Yeah, there's a
of
boundary set, and you can't cross it.
I feel you. Samantha,
And the fact
honestly,
that I wasn't a child, like, what if I was a 10-year-old little girl doing
right.
all this, making a fan page, and you're
True.
telling me, like, all these things,
True.
telling me to promote these things? I don't know better.
Right. That is
Like, if
so true.
I'm 26 or 24, so it's like I know better.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. No, that's so true, because they honestly don't know who they're talking to. Link. Out of all the signs today, this is the only sign that keeps falling. And I really can't stress this enough, because I do think that the ways in which Nickelodeon didn't protect us as children is going to be the same way that we don't necessarily protect the fans. So, you know, I just want to say, oh wait, this is this way. I just wanted to say, like, not only so many insights about the reboot and about, I mean, it's going to fall regardless, I shouldn't even care, but about the reboot, etc. But also you not only apologized to me when wasn't even expecting that. That was very sweet. And then also though, you know, you gave me a lot of healing when it came to, you know, learning about what Paul Butcher said, or learning about what Kristin Herrera said. Even though these people haven't necessarily said this to me, it was nice to know that they've said it at all. So for my own, there it goes. For my own nostalgia, you know, you've helped me look back at my personal childhood and the things in which I would change, and made me feel a little bit better about maybe they do have a little bit of a conscience about things. Maybe they are sorry about certain things, and maybe they do care. And so I just want to say thank you. Thank you for that. And,
And
you
thank
know,
you.
thank you. And thank you for coming, you know, on here and sharing your story as a fan of Zoey 101. And again, I'm going to apologize for the cast. I'm sorry that you were treated that way. And I'm glad that I found a new friend, fan to friend, honestly. And hopefully that's, you know, okay.
And it's an appropriate
You're a friend of the show.
relationship.
You are definitely
Like,
a
it's
friend of the show.
appropriate, so that's all that matters.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's all that matters. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you so much, Samantha. And obviously, I'll be talking to you soon. Thank you so much for being here.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye, Samantha. Yeah, you can. Well, you can just go to me now for a second. Oh yeah. Would you have any fan page? Do you want me to plug anything onto YouTube for people to find you?
Workaholics TV. I mean, that'd be amazing.
There
I know
we
it's gonna be a
go.
weird fan switch.
Is it on
but
Instagram? It's on Instagram, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay. Send it onto the Discord, and we'll put it into the description so that people can support your new safe fan page.
Definitely.
As I put this back up. Well, that as I put up this Nickelodeon didn't protect me sign that fell down the entire episode. I mean, honestly, that was pretty eye-opening for me. See, I learned something new. I learned that, you know, not only was Dan Schneider obviously problematic, Nickelodeon was problematic, but they were also flaunting and recording, in my opinion, crimes with children. And, you know, that's why I wanted to make this show on this YouTube channel, because I think there's a lot for us to learn from our past. And I think we all deserve collectively a safe space to talk about it, to, you know, discuss, to share our opinions, and hopefully from that, build a better future with our awareness. And I think with the more knowledge we have, we can, you know, really actually get active if we want to. And so I'm really happy that this was the first episode, because this was honestly double nostalgia. It was fan nostalgia. It was the cast members having nostalgia. And what was the result of that? And I'm really curious in the comment section below and in the chat and in the Discord, we can take this conversation outside of this video and really discuss what we learned today. And what suggestions we can have moving forward when it comes to kids shows, when it comes to fan pages, etc. Did I miss anyone here? I just want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats before I sign off. JAA, welcome to the dinner party. Welcome. And I see Elizabeth Lacey. You're amazing. You are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I just want to make sure, and I see there's something else, but I don't want to miss it, because I know last time I accidentally missed a few. So if I missed anyone, I'm sorry. Oh, here we go. You've definitely paved the way for other people to speak up who wouldn't have felt able to before. I hope you know that. Grateful for the space you've created. Nat, thank you so much. That means the world to me. JAA, glad to have become a member. Behind you 100%. Thank you. And Josh, tonight's my last night in Ohio. Oh my God, you're going back home? Tomorrow I go back home to Vancouver. Next time I see you, I'll be back home. Josh, I hope you have a good flight. And I will see you tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for joining. Let's give a lot of support to Samantha. It was really, honestly, brave of her to talk about her childhood, idols, I guess, or whatever. It takes a lot of bravery. So Samantha, thank you so much once again. And thank you everybody. And that was our first episode of No More Nostalgia. But I'll see you tomorrow for ePredators Daily. And thank you all so much for being here. I'll see you tomorrow.